red, who is first and who is second. It's so important to see whether the adaptations in this game is going to say, hey, maybe we're going to show a different card, or are we just going to slightly adjust it? It looks like for the side of Team Spirit, it's going to be slightly adjusting.
So we got to see if Team Spirit will ban out that Suyo, because just like what Mirko said during the game, it's like if he gets his hand on Suyo, every objective is for him. Win or lose, doesn't matter. He will get that objective.
It's tough, but I think there's one more pitfall, and I think that's the Matilda. Showing it extremely early tells you, hey, it's not a flex pick. You know exactly what we're doing.
And then also for Vamos' side, do they ban out the Bruno? Yes, they do. Bruno will be banned out again. Definitely has been a heavy hitter so far in the M series. Now, yeah, the Matilda is still on the table. It could definitely be up for grabs. The Eve has had a good showcasing today as well. Definitely something you want to be a little bit more mindful of. But then also the Blue Yo.
Well, I don't think they want to ban out Blue Yo this time around. Unless, if that's going to be an adjustment, I would like to see what, whether or not they're going to try and force the Joy into that Beleric matchup we've seen before. Oh, that just might be the case here.
So now becomes the question, what is first pickable here for Vamos? Because if we're looking at the junglers, I don't know, too much is open. The Alpha is still open. The Joy is still open. The Hayabusa is still open. We haven't seen Nolan around. Nolan's there as well. So I have no idea what the first pick is going to be. Hylos? Even Hylos is iffy.
I would say Hylos or Cho could be definitely a great option right now. I would say something that could be flexed into one or two different roles. I wouldn't go so hard as picking up and showing a trump card this early, right? You want to keep Team Spirit on their toes.
Or Valentina.
That's what I was thinking as well. A Valentina opener might just be the way to go, because if you go into Joy, you're expecting the Beleric to be showing up on the other side. You go for Cho, then other picks are going to come through. Hilda, it's strong, but there is still counterplay for the side of Team Spirit. For an example, putting Alpha in the jungle, it's like, oh, you want to harass me? I got true damage. I literally don't care.
Could be a threat. Definitely have to watch out for it. I mean, the Fredrin could be another viable option as well, especially up against that Hilda. The Assassins is where you're going to kind of be a little bit weaker with that Hilda, especially invading on those buffs. So for Team Spirit, the ball's in their court. They can definitely go in for their goat laner. They can pick up their marksman super early. They have Mage Prio right now. They could pick up something like the Eve. They were comfortable running an Eve against the Valentina. Didn't work out in their favor, but they were comfortable with it.
I feel like the Hilda is just to shut down the Granger and the Joy pick. And the Joy still got picked. So this is Vamos anticipating this Joy pick and try to fight against it. And now even the Matilda is picked. Vamos has an option here. They can go Hayabusa, which goes well against the Joy. Even the Fredrin does well against the Joy. So it's really about what the gold lane is going to be that will kind of dictate what the jungler pickup is going to be. Not saying they pick up gold now, but meaning whatever either Hayabusa or Fredrin can kind of give us some kind of clue. Valentina picked up first.
Okay, no surprises there. I want to see which shows up first, whether or not the there we go. The Hayabusa shows up first. Again, decent matchup, but we've seen how annoying this Matilda can be, especially when you're in the Oki Shadow Kill. You can help, make sure pull teams away, pull team members away from the Shadow Kill so that, maybe RNG isn't on your side, or at the very least be able to kind of body block a couple of the shots for your team. I'm still curious about the gold, because that's really what's going to predetermine how you want to play your composition or how you want to design it.
Now, you might want to go for a marksman with survivability, just because not only you're going against the Hayabusa, but you're also going against that Hilda as well. We haven't seen a Natan in a while. Natan has kind of slipped through the cracks. The Claude has been a little out of the ballpark for a while, but things we have seen, the Beatrix still could be picked up, something that is definitely a comfortable pick, or the Moskov as well, but they're going to go in for that Alpha, and this just seems to be the case because of the Hilda.
Is it too early to show, though, Gideon? I mean, you already have the Joy. Now you're just saying, yep, this is Joy mate. What are you going to do about it?
I mean, it could be Joy EXP for all we know. That's
true.
That's another possibility. I don't want to keep speculating upon it, because at the very least, here are some of the perks of having the Alpha. The Alpha can only go in one direction. He's not very good at pulling himself out of hard scenarios, but at the same time, does that mean that they're looking towards that mid lane? Are they going to try and set up potential gank angles, or at least cut out supply routes, because a lot of the movements from Vamos are predetermined by the mid lane anyways?
I'm expecting Team Spirit to go for, I would say, maybe a Hylos in the XP lane if they could pull it off, because it's still up for grabs. Maybe something that Vamos wants to take off the table. I mean, with the Matilda, they don't really have too much crowd control aspect. Yeah, you have the Alpha, the Spear of Alpha. You get a little bit of a knock up there, but they need a little bit more oomph when it comes to crowd control.
I could agree with that as well.
I mean, Kid Bomba can still pick up something like the Arla or Charizla.
That's what I was thinking as well. I feel like the Arla would make a little bit more sense, but we're going to need to see those gold laners first, and that's the beauty of being on that red side. At least you get to see the full composition. So I'm assuming that they're going to wait until the very end to reveal it. They're probably going to pick 4th pick for Sunset Lover, and then 5th pick for Kid Bomba. But now looking at the bans, right? Banning out the Hylos, banning out the Harith. They want to give Hiko a good matchup at the bare minimum.
Now, they could pull the okie doke on the Vamos, right? You could put this Joy in the mid. Then you don't have to worry about the Valentina too much.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like the Valentina has a pretty good matchup against the Joy because the Valentina can steal away the electrifying beats and basically just deal maximum damage all the time. So I feel like because this is not a Sicilian, at least Warlord has a better time going up against this. The Cho has been banned out, so Vamos has options here, right? The Gator is still open, the Jawhead is still open, and I don't know, maybe Zorn has some surprises here to deal with the Joy. Maybe he picks up the Belleric, who knows?
I mean, I suppose, but I think at the same time, how are you going to kind of keep control over the waves? Like, Hilda, yes, is decent at like clearing waves, but then you start comparing it with like Gator, who basically one-shots the wave, right? Even Charizla is able to kind of hard sustain. We're not seeing enough of Vamos on ways to actually pressure the enemy jungler, or at the very least force out that priority, right? And I think at this point, now that they've gotten rid of the Hylos, that's one problem out of the way. But the Khalid, yes, this is something that I was expecting to be banned pretty early on.
So does this mean Vamos, they're going to probably pick up... Well, no, the Harith is gone. So, I mean, yeah, maybe Beatrix...
Carry.
Yeah, Carry would probably be next over there for Nets. But for the side of Team Spirit, maybe the Beatrix is going to sneak into the occasion. And then we got to see what's going to be put inside of that XP lane. Now, also, the question still is, yeah, the Joy with the Valentina may not be the best option, but there's just so much flexibility with Team Spirit's composition so far, right? Not only do you have sustainability with the Alpha and the Mathilda, but you also have that Joy and not too many heroes to kind of slow them down.
Yeah, they pick up the 1-1, which hides where this Joy is going. Because like I said, it could still go to the EXP, and maybe that's what Team Spirit is playing around. So now Vamos, they just have to expect the unexpected, right? And right now we have the behind the IGN for Smooth. Understanding what's up with the name Smooth. So Smooth from his IGN from being praised for his silky smooth Fanny gameplay when he first started MLBB. Let me just say, I played with Smooth before, and he can carry like crazy. Like when he's on EXP, he can 1v5. And I've never had freer games than when I'm playing with Smooth.
It's pretty crazy, right? Especially during his time with MYA, if I remember it, like ages ago. He was known to be a Fanny player, and then just kept on playing Uranus for like 2 seasons straight. But now, completing the draft, Gatot as well as the Irithel, they finally go for the counter matchup. I didn't know why they didn't do it in the previous game, but they already unlocked their gold laner at that point in time, so it's like, all right, fair enough. But now...
This is nasty, by the way. This Irithel is nasty.
Exactly, because how exactly is Team Spirit supposed to catch it without the Irithel, right? Other than the Irithel, they're going to try and run it down, but there's plenty of heal with Valentina and Gatot as well.
Well, right now, the final pick is here, and they're picking up the Fredrin. So Fredrin, EXP, and then Joy mid here. So we have seen the Fredrin go up against the Hilda, and the Fredrin is able to stop the Hilda from moving around. So looks like Team Spirit wants to have a 1v1 5 times here. Thank you very much to our panelists, Steph Weezy, as well as Gideon. Now we're going to throw it over to our casters, where what do you guys think about the draft?
As if we didn't have enough interesting laning matchups in the previous game. The coaches give us more. Fredrin in the EXP. And another Joy mid lane for Team Spirit.
Hey, usually for Fren, he has someone stopping him from all these, you know, mad scientist choices, right? Usually Stucky, maybe few for AP Bren. This time he's like, I'm gonna go full Fren. That's a Fredrin Revitalize in the XP. The first of its kind. When was the last time we saw Fredrin XP? That was like back in the NFC 2023 Onyx days when Boots always played it.
Oh, definitely months ago. It has to be at least months
A year ago.
or a year ago. At the very least, for perhaps some of the local regions, they might have seen it a little more recently, but at least for M6, it's the first time we're seeing it. So now it will have to go against this composition of Team Vamos, which is very, very high in mobility, but early game damage Warlord again on the Valentina.
Whoa.
But Sunset still goes for the clear either way.
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, just relying on the guiding wind, playing with pixels of almost death.
My goodness, what an action-packed early game we're seeing with a lot of early invades as well. But don't forget that the M6 Pass is available from November 11 or November 18 to December 29. Complete all tasks achieved the level 75. But again, we're back in the game. On shot. Oh, he seems very, very low. But at least Sao and Kid Bomba are there to aid him.
There's no prio in this lane at all for the Fredrin though, because usually, at least when we see the Fredrin 2, we usually see the concussive blast. This is more of a pure tank Fredrin for Bomba. He wants to just sustain in the lane with the Revitalize and the Brave Smite. That means clear speed is going to be a problem. And when it comes to prio in the XP lane, you kind of need clear speed with how neutral objectives are played. Team Spirit don't really have that. This is a team fighting composition. Purely team fight. If they fall behind, Vamos are just gonna siege every turret for free.
Definitely. And for Team Spirit, it seems like you'd have to take them front to back. Like, at least you'll have to get past Kid Bomba. You'd have to get past the one shot. But Team Spirit, on the other hand, they also have ways to access and penetrate Team Vamos and their lineups. But that seems like a problem as well for Sunset Lover. Like, how easy would it be for Sunset Lover to look for targets, to look for a pickoff, or at least to disrupt Team Vamos and their positioning with the Joy in this kind of situation? Because at the very least, since Team Vamos got their hands on the Irithel, this is the type of marksman who makes it hard for you to actually chase after the Irithel, to make it hard for you to look after him. But oh, they go in with the Spear of Alpha.
Oh, he's gonna be taunted down though. Fredrin comes in with Revitalize too, even with the guiding wind. Chibi follows through. It's first blood.
Oh, wow.
Oh, a big Appraiser's Wrath. But what are you gonna do against the two tanks? Sunset Lover, they go back now with the electrifying beats. Oh, shadow kill. Vengeance used, guiding wind, terrified. One last shot from Smooth, but Sunset Lover gets away. A disaster for this team fight comp in the early game.
And we aren't seeing Team Spirit play their composition in its most aggressive way possible. Majority of the guiding winds are really to save, interestingly, Sunset Lover from all of the times which he tried to go in and look for the kills against Team Vamos. And I must say, the innate tankiness that Team Vamos has in their hands, even with just the Valentina who decides to constantly put on the pressure and join the skirmishes in the early stages, it's not one of the easiest mid laners to take down. Definitely, this isn't the best situation for Team Spirit, but as far as we know, they're also relying on Hiko to get his items. They're also waiting for the farming, the scaling, and the team fights, as you've mentioned. But if we were to just observe them laning phase, based on their laning phase or one-on-ones, I don't think we'll be expecting that much action from Team Spirit just yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough damage to deal with Vamos right now. Like, I mean, maybe if they get to the late game, then Mr. Joy's gonna hurt, but yeah, I don't know. Even Hiko's gonna have such a tough time against the Irithel. It's always something that, you know, I talk about. I'm a 1-1 main. Whenever 1-1's picked, I'm like, oh, please, please ban the Irithel. They banned the Harith, which I understand why after seeing last game. But the Irithel wasn't banned. They still decided to go for the first pick 1-1 in red side second phase. And yeah, Hiko's definitely gonna have a very, very tough time in lane. In team fights, I can see how he can actually get the weakness points and fly by with Bomba. Getting CC. Let's see, Bomba, 3-man taunt.
Okay, now there are just little exchanges of pokes here and there right before this turtle.
They're grouping up.
But this is the moment Team Spirit has been waiting for. It seems Kid Bomba, though, he's half HP. So they'll be dancing around this turtle for a while, and a lot of resources are still available, but as the guiding wind and the energy eruption.
They're going to use their resources on the Smooth. AOG coming down, locking Kid Bomba down there. Oh, Sunset Lover very low. Chibi wins out the retro battle again. Defensive Spear of Alpha, Nets trying to run him down. Bomba walking back, and again, this team fight composition has not worked out in favor of Spirit just yet. It's Vamos securing all the neutral objectives.
And how else do they make it work? If Kid Bomba, one of the most important frontliners here for Team Spirit, with just a brief moment of showing himself up against Team Vamos, gets poked that low, but Warlord, though, he will be spotted here by one shot and Sao. So at least they get a trade somehow, but that doesn't mean much. They're not able to necessarily convert it into other necessary objectives just yet.
Yeah, I guess for Spirit, they're really waiting for mid-game at this point, but I'm concerned that Vamos might actually just build a big enough lead to stop that mid-game power spike from being a problem. Spirit are struggling in these individual lanes on top of the fact that the neutral objectives have just not gone their way. This Irithel is bullying 1-1 hard. Sunset Lover cannot lane against the Hilda. Smooth is just having the time of his life up top. Hilda Joy usually meet him in the jungle in lane. I think Hilda's like, whatever.
and they're forced to send Sunset Lover somewhere else at this moment because you're not necessarily wanting to engage in all these fights. I mean, if it was just like pure sustain, pure tankiness, Team Spirit, I think they have a lot in their lineup, but then it begs the question, where's the damage too? They're just really waiting for it to come, but the moment... while they're waiting for it to come, look at the damage though!
That's a bait, shadow kill, Nets takes the kill! Sunset Lover, nowhere near enough damage to threaten Nets, even with the Vengeance. Nets still had Sprint, he didn't even pop it, he was like, yeah, I want all the smoke.
And I mean, Irithel, it's not like it's the type of marksman that you could just force to stop all those attacks from coming in, right? You'd have to find a way to stop it, but it's okay with them and Smooth. Forces to revitalize.
Two-man taunt, one shot already. AOG from Zorn catches two and Smooth bonks him in the head. Sunset Lover walks up. The electrifying beats is just the song of victory so far for Vamos in Game 3.
They're just standing there. They're okay with tanking all the damage from Team Spirit because there's not much. There's not much damage yet from Team Spirit. At the very least, Hiko, he's untouched. But then what now? If every single time Hiko's left alone, or at least two members are left, but there's the stacks taken in from Warlord, but they're still not going to go for the engage. Team Vamos, all the while they're being very aggressive around the map. They're also just making sure that they're able to convert it into the turrets, into map control, and not necessarily into unnecessary team fights that Team Spirit may capitalize on.
3.5k gold lead. That mid-game power spike is looking very close for Team Spirit, but will it even be a power spike is the question that we have now. Considering Vamos have maybe outscaled that power spike. I think they have ways to actually deal with everyone. Nets, the gold laner now, 2 levels ahead of Sunset Lover and 2 levels ahead of Bomba. He's still level 8, now finally getting to level 9, but again, all in these individual lanes, it is... Warlord is 2 levels ahead of Sunset. Everybody is so far ahead. I think Hiko and One Shot, are the two... One Shot's actually getting out-farmed by this Hayabusa too. It's just Hiko who's still level at this point, and Sawo, it's a roamer.
And once Team Spirit actually decides for the grouped up team fights, right? And so long as they don't find the Nets immediately, and if they just let him go in for those heavy crossbows, I don't think they'll be having such a great time too. Them being grouped up would just allow Nets to throw out the damage. Speaking of all the damage, look at that!
Revitalize Bomba, the Sky Piercer goes through all of the healing. That was just, oh man, that was ridiculous damage from Vamos.
And it's not even, we're not even at the 10-minute mark too. We're just slowly approaching the 10-minute mark. But it seems like Team Spirit, they're losing access in their own jungle. Team Vamos might actually go for this Lord. And if you were Team Spirit, very much reliant on the fronts, but they get easily bursted down by Team Vamos. How else would you approach this objective take? One Shot will be able to secure his orange buff, but Warlord gets his very own circling eagle. So with this innate tankiness that Team Vamos has in their hands, they're not at the least afraid to actually start this Lord.
Smooth is going to walk up, he doesn't care. If he gets comboed with the Spear of Alpha, he's very happy to tank up that damage. Ooh, big bonk over the bomb, but Warlord just steals the circling eagle. Sunset Lover, not enough damage to take down anyone. Chibi, Shadow kill to the back. Sky Piercer on, now One Shot, whoa! Able to dive deep, Nets caught all alone! They were isolated, One Shot gets a triple from out of nowhere!
That seemed like a very decisive call once again from Team Spirit. We've seen it twice in this entire series. And even after Team Vamos gets their hands on the Lord, it seems like Team Spirit will be the ones to fully convert it into their much desired map control. And that was a very crucial mistake from Team Vamos. I mean, you would definitely want to group up, but that beautiful Spear of Alpha onto at least 2 or 3 members, that's when the true damage comes in. That's when Team Spirit and their pure confidence, their sheer confidence comes in.
Okay, now they gotta be careful. I guess the mid-game power spike matters a lot. Even with the 3,000 gold lead, Vamos chose to fight, and Spirit were like, we got our items now. We have that power spike we were waiting for. I guess the 10th minute mark was it for Team Spirit. I want to see a replay. What happened? Nets still didn't sprint earlier.
And it seemed like just a very decisive call again after Warlord has already used that circling eagle that he copied away from Sao. It was just Team Spirit going in. They already knew that they had no chances of contesting for that objective. So at the very least, they wanted to get some kills away from Team Vamos. And still, it seems like Team Vamos, though, will try to make use of the Lord, but they get the stack. They get the stack to the crossbow. Damn!
Crossbow tang over the nets now. Over to Chibi too. Okay, they get away. The waves are cleared out, and Team Spirit are able to defend the first Lord, keeping 2 of their base turrets alive, only sacrificing the bottom lane. So they're equal in turrets, just like that. 4-4.
And even the gold lead, it's negligible at this point. I mean, at least for other members, it's quite significant. But other than that, so long as they play the team fights, they can go for the protect. They can go for the create space kind of approach. And look at that double circling eagle, but they get to somehow pressure the purple buff from a Team Vamos. So we're seeing a closer fight right now. We're transitioning into the mid-game, and this is the game that Team Spirit wants to play.
Oh yeah, definitely the game they want to play. With that 1 triple kill, One Shot has equalized his gold deficit against Chibi, who was 2 levels, 1 level ahead of him over the course of the entire game up to that 9th minute. So now that he's equal, they have... Shadow kill. Sky Piercer not enough. Chibi! Caught in the bad spot, Spear of Alpha, circling eagle! One Shot gets the shutdown!
They just waited for the quad shadow! And Sao was just there to provide the additional sustain, the guiding wind, healing a little bit back of HP.
The timing, it's a Lord!
And that was the perfect timing for Team Spirit, as you've mentioned. One Shot also has his hands on the Winter Crown, so they can make some plays if they want to be more aggressive, but it seems like they're just going for the zone. So One Shot will be focusing on the Lord.
Sunset.
Smooth has some vision. Sunset Lover goes for nets!
With a full dive! Sunset Lover with the vengeance again! He finds the hits, now he's jumping back again onto Warlord. It's baiting in everybody. Bamba catching Zorn, the cancel on the CC, the AOG gets him out just barely.
Such a close call for Zorn, but he gets back to the base. And Team Spirit, regardless of all that, they think it's okay. They still have the Lord marching towards the middle lane. There are no holy defenses anymore for their base turrets. So could this be it for Team Spirit? They're knocking on Team Vamos' base.
Smooth, gonna be locked down. That's all the weakness points already for Hiko. Revitalize used up, that's a big bong over. Hiko still has a crossbow of tanks. That's gonna be, again, the Shadow Kill to clear out the waves. Chibi jumping back and forth with the quad shadow. Sunset Lover walking up. The base is open now. Spear of Alpha from One Shot again with the Winter Crown. Now the lockdown once more. Hiko kiting away. That's a Winter Crown used up by Sword, but he's gonna be slashed down and taken out by Hiko's crossbow. Chasing all the way. Sunset gets a killing spree. Chibi, the ninja, followed by Sawo with the circling eagle. Hiko gets the killing spree, and in 14 minutes, Spirit turned the game around. They wipe Vamos out, and they take match point.
Regardless of that attempt from Chibi, there were other waves incoming. And so Team Spirit turned things around and are currently in the lead for this series.
Coach Friend, you mad lad! What was that draft? Wow!
That was the bomba mentality right there, just sustaining everything.